Good morning. I'm Ashleigh Wilson, and I have the honor of presenting today's Torah portion to you. The portion this week is Beshalach. I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly. It is Exodus chapter 13, verse 17 through chapter 17, verse 16. And my prayer this year has been for the Father to help me to take the focus off of me and help me to turn my focus to him and to help me to learn more about him. And so as I was reading through this Torah portion, that was my prayer is, what do you want me to learn about you through this portion? And the events of this portion are some big ones. The parting and the crossing at the Red Sea and the destruction of the enemy, of the Egyptian army that was following. We have the presence of the cloud and fire, the presence of God with the Israelites. We have the bitter waters, where a tree was thrown into the water and it became drinkable. We have God's provision of the manna and the quail every morning and every evening, except for the seventh day. We have water coming from a rock. And then we end the portion in chapter 17 with the Israelites' victory over Amalek. And as I was reading through this portion, the common thread, the thing that God showed me about himself, was his provision for his people. His provision seems so miraculous when we read through these stories, but I believe his provision for us is just as miraculous. At the Red Sea, he provided a means of escape and protection from the enemy. And he has also given us a means of freedom and a means of protection from our enemy. His presence was seen with the people through the cloud and the fire. He provided the Israelites with the comfort of his presence, and he has done the same for us. The comfort of his presence through the Ruach, through the Holy Spirit, the Comforter. Twice he provided water for the Israelites in kind of weird ways, ways that are unexpected. And his provision for us doesn't always come in the way that we would expect it to come. It doesn't always look the way that we would like it to look. And then he provided victory over Amalek. And he has given us victory over our enemies through the blood of his son Yeshua. He's provided us victory over our own flesh, which is our greatest enemy, truly, is our own flesh. And he provided manna and quail. He provided for the physical needs of his people. And as I was reading this, I don't know why it just never really struck me this way before, but as I was reading Exodus chapter 16, verse 35, they ate manna every day for 40 years. For 40 years, God faithfully provided for them. And I can't help but wonder if they lost sight of the miracle of that provision. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Did they just kind of come to expect it? Did it stop seeming like a miraculous gift? Every day when I open my eyes, when I put food on the table in front of my kids, when I'm filled with peace and joy and comfort, do I recognize the miraculous provision that is from the Father? Do I recognize that that's from him? He is truly our Jehovah Jireh. He is both our provider and our provision. And every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights. James chapter 1, verse 17 tells us that. May we not lose sight of the miraculous provision that is just being here with one another, that is just the next breath that we take. Short and sweet today, friends. That's all I wanted to share with you. Recognize your provider this week. recognize the provision that he's given you.